We are healing each other when we heal ourselves. We are. Every thought that we look at, every dark corner that we're willing to shine the light upon and hand over to the Spirit and hand over to Jesus, hand over to love, and let it be seen and cry it out, feel it out, look at it. When we do that, we automatically are healing our brothers and sisters. Hi, my beautiful spirit familia. Join me as I do my hair. Do I have something on my heart today for you, for myself, for the one mind, for the healing of us all? Because when one of us heals, when one of us reveals something that's been a dark corner in our mind, when one of us looks at the darkness, the dark thoughts, the limiting beliefs, the things, the deep, deep-rooted beliefs that are controlling the patterns, the ways that in which we live life, in which we react to life. When we do that, we are healing each other. We are healing the world, because the world is the mind. The world is the outer reflection of an inner condition, as the Course in Miracles is teaching us. It is an outward reflection of an inner condition that we all hold, that we all have collectively agreed to, that we all tap into, and we think it's private to us. And I recently made a video about the illusion of private thoughts. Another huge, huge lesson and teaching in the Course in Miracles. You know, Spirit is showing us, Jesus is teaching us that what we think by ourselves or believe we have or we go through alone, we don't. Ultimately, we don't. It is a lie that we believe, and that we think what we think only affects us. Well, that just goes perfectly in line with what I said right when I started this video. If we are healing, if there is something that we are willing to look at, how is it that we can heal each other in ways that we can't even fathom or come to see in physical terms? We are healing each other when we heal ourselves. We are. Every thought that we look at, every dark corner that we're willing to shine the light upon and hand over to the Spirit and hand over to Jesus, hand over to love, and let it be seen and cry it out, feel it out, look at it. When we do that, we automatically are healing our brothers and sisters. It is something that happens in ways that we can't imagine, that we can't understand truly, that our senses are limited to. But if we can know on a deep level that our healing heals generations, our healing heals timelines, our healing heals the quantum, right? It affects all in all different parallel truths and realities. It is moving through all of it because the mind is the one connector of all of it. It is the main projector. It is the one powering this experience, this dream matrix projection of an experience, which ultimately is here so that we can discover who we truly are. Ultimately is here so that we can forgive it, like the forgiveness of the Course in Miracles. If we are ultimately one, then the healing of my mind extends. The light that pours through, the healing that happens, extends automatically into the mind, the one mind that we are all tapping into. And so it is healing it. It is healing it. You and the universe are always working at whatever consciousness level you're at, and your thoughts are exuding, are giving out the frequency of whatever level you're at. And that is the experience that you will be having. It is a consistent thing. People don't have to know your private thoughts for the universe or for God or spirit to know where you are at, not to judge you, not to bring guilt upon it, but to meet you where you are so that you can heal the lies and begin to elevate. So the healing that we do, just like the negative beliefs feed into the system, the healing heals the system. It breaks the system. It tears away, it pulls away the layers of the fake system that we're all believing. Yeah? I wasn't expecting to talk about this particularly. But wow, I got so just like the fire came through to talk about this, because it is something I'm looking at. This is something particularly to me in this moment. And so here goes. This is the story, and this is how I know that there has been hold on, a lot of thoughts. This is a story, and this is how I came to reveal this thought, this idea, which is a really deep belief that I wasn't really willing to see or believe that I even have, right? And that's what happens. There are beliefs that we have that we don't believe we have until we're willing to truly look, to humble ourselves, to humble our minds, to come with curiosity and look. You know, I've gone through 4 to 5 years of really deep inner work, right? And there's another video where I talk about that season is so important. To go into that season of solitude has so much power, and there's a purpose to it. And we can't walk into the next season rooted, grounded with a true foundation unless we soak in that season. And so the other day I was going to deliver some boxes, like taking some boxes to UPS. And as I'm getting things out of the car, a young girl sees me and says, "Hi, good morning. Sorry, I just want to tell you that I love your outfit. Like it's so nice. I love it. It looks great." And I look at her and I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And in my mind, there's this disbelief. There's this idea that she's not being honest with me. Like I hear her, but I don't hear her. Yeah, I'm not truly believing. I'm wondering if she's being too nice, or she just wants my attention for some reason. Like how interesting is that, right? I don't notice this in the moment. I mean, I notice that that she tells me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "Yeah, it just looks really nice. I love it." And so it not only stops there, and I say thank you, but then now I feel compelled to tell her, to look at her outfit and tell her, "Wow, your outfit's pretty cute too. Look at me checking you out because, thanks." And she's like, "Oh, thanks." And it's true, she did look nice. But the point is, did I have to compliment her on her outfit? Did I have to look for something to tell her that she looked good because she told me that I looked good, or that I had something that looked good, or, whatever it is? She felt my energy, my look, whatever it is, And instead of taking it as like face value, taking the compliment and saying thank you, have a great day, whatever it is, just thank you. And full stop. Instead of doing that, something in me urged me to have to give a compliment back. If not, I would feel uncomfortable or weird. I have received compliments and I say thank you, and I don't go there, yeah? But this one caught me very much off guard, and revealed something to me that is still deeply ingrained, that is still hasn't been fully looked at the root. And so, yeah, we could say like, "Oh, this is a confidence thing," or this is a thing of empathy. But this revealed so much more to me, because I've also been dealing with this idea of like, now that I'm stepping up and I'm stepping out and stepping into more of who I am and expanding, right? I am also expanding my ideas of what my life can look like, what I potentially want. Not that I want a specific way to do certain things, but the abundance that is out there for me, for all of us. When we step into true authenticity, when we show up as ourselves, when we trust the seasons and then move forward when it's time, right? And so I'm like, wow, there is a possibility of wealth, of spiritual wealth, of reflected wealth in the world, whether that's in money or in just abundance, how Bashar says it. You know, you are able to do what you need when you need to do it. That is the meaning of abundance to Bashar. And it's so beautiful because it takes away the idea of money being the only way for you to be able to do the things that you need to do. And so he's saying there's so many ways that the universe can bless you, that spirit can bless you. But if you're closed off to believe that money is the way, then you won't take action. You won't be open to circumstances, places, conversations, things where other possibilities would exist to provide you with that abundance, with those experiences, with those things, whatever it is. Beautiful, right? Like, what an amazing teaching. And so like I'm expanding and feeling just this opening to receive in all different ways. And yet there is this, I can sense this resistance, almost like a guilt about money, almost like a guilt about, like, if you have money, then you're not spiritual, right? Or if you're doing something that provides you an extensive amount of money, then you somehow are disconnected and are idolizing money, right? If we're looking at through a spiritual lens. I don't think I thought this when I was a child, but now that I'm in the spiritual world, it's like this underlying belief about money being somehow, something's wrong with it, or only, like, there are some beliefs there, has now transferred into like, okay, but true spirituality doesn't depend on money, doesn't, it depends on God. But if God is providing you and putting you in a place where it is for you to make money and probably bless the world with the money, it has nothing to do with the money. And I know on a surface level, on a conscious level, I know that, right? I understand that it's not, that money is just a medium, that money is not a goal. It is a bridge to opportunities, to blessings, to experiences. And yet it is not the only bridge, which is what Bashar is saying, right? There are many bridges. So being able to do what you need to do when you need to do it is the gift, is true abundance. So how amazing is that? This is what we're learning. This is what we're seeing. And yet, looking back at this experience with this girl, I'm like, okay, I felt the need to tell her that she looked good, that her outfit was good, because it wasn't enough for her to just tell me. And as I looked deeper into that thought and into just, as I reflected upon it, I realized that something within me doesn't want others to feel left out. And maybe because I, in some way, felt left out, in some way. I can't pinpoint it. I don't know exactly how. But that the empath in me wants to please the other, wants the other to feel like they don't have less. So in some way, maybe I experienced having less while others had more of something. It doesn't have to be money. And then money became one of the things that attached to this belief. Or I had it modeled for me. Like, I saw examples of this in my life. Beliefs of this played out, right? About money specifically money or finances being something that some people just have more while other people have less. And beyond that, those who have less can't really access what the ones who have more have, as if there's like some, I started journaling, as if there's like some rule or society or special access to this money that only those who have more have. And I'm writing this and I'm like, whoa, like look at these beliefs. And I'm going deeper and I'm just letting it flow through me, right? Like me in spirit, just tell me. Actually, I wasn't writing, and normally I'm writing, but this time I was in the car and I was typing it into my phone. And I could see in me this idea that if I can't allow myself to have more, because there's this guilt that if I have more, other people have less, and that people are going to believe that they have less, and that the truth is that I want everyone to have. Sorry, it's making me emotional. I want everyone to have more. I want us all to experience abundance and wholeness and love and wealth, all types of wealth, but first and foremost, spiritual wealth, so that the other wealths are just reflections of the inner state of wealth, of abundance. That is what I want, and I can see how that in some way I was on the other end of that. In some way I received that message, and it became implanted in me that if I have, it somehow takes away from others. And that's just not true. And so I had to look at that. And if you have believed this or anything similar to this, or if something is coming up for you, please share it in the comments, because we are all here to dispel these lies, to expose the ego and how it goes really, really deep into our mind, and then begins to create experiences around us, or limit our experiences, limit how spirit can bless us because of these beliefs. And it goes and they will seep into everything. They will seep into your spirituality. They will seep into everything, because at the end of the day, within the human experience, we are still with this split mind, right? The ego mind and the mind of spirit, the mind of love. And the ego mind is the mind of fear, of lack, of death. And so anything in our experience, spirituality, awakening, relationship, wealth, career, finding a home, moving, whatever it is, all of it can either be seen through the lens, right, from the inner place. It can only come from the lens of the ego or the lens of love. And so going back to this belief that if I have more, I'm taking away from somebody, and it's a lie, but I can see, if I say it, it just makes me cry. And so that there's something there, this is like evidence that something is there that needs to be looked at. And this is what exposing the ego looks like, folks. It's getting it out. It's putting it out into the light, not to judge, not to add more guilt, but to reveal something we haven't been willing to look at, or we just didn't give the time, the importance to it. And so now, knowing what I know about how my healing heals everyone, about how your willingness, your healing heals your family, heals generations, heals the past, and heals the future. That's what the Course in Miracles is teaching us. Because the timeline, we believe in time, but time, it's not what we think it is. Metaphysically, spiritually, energetically, this is happening. And if I know that that is happening, and I know that my healing does that in a deeper level, I must also know and recognize that my expansion and my access to wealth, spiritual knowledge, wisdom, financial wealth, which is a reflection. Yeah, some people have financial wealth. That's their script. When it comes to me and my story, and even in there, they're going to learn, they're going to have teachings and learnings and things they have to heal around that. And you know, the universe will, spirit will always meet them where they are, whatever it is that they need to learn within their script, within their story. So for me, I can see that I am expanding into an understanding of wealth based first on spiritual wealth and truth. And that there's a limitation in there. There's some sort of internal resistance happening because I am afraid. I'm afraid because I've believed in this, right? I am afraid that if I have, people will compete, will feel like I'm a competition, will compare themselves to me, and will feel like they're less and therefore not like me, right? And so it's like this whole mix of like pleasing, keeping others happy, and at the same time keeping myself small so that others can be happy. So it's like a real deep level of people pleasing. And the truth is that my expansion, my healing, my wealth, in all the forms that I've mentioned, will bless the world. Your expansion, your healing, and your wealth will bless the world. If you are on this page and you are on a path with God, on a path with love, on a path to know and discover and experience your true self with a capital S, like I mentioned in another video, what is the true self with a capital S? What is self-love? If you are here to know that, then what you are doing and the way in which you are doing it, and if your posture, your heart is coming from an honest, true place of love, even if you mess up, even if you have your beliefs and your patterns, that's going to come up. It literally needs to come up for you to look at it. Yeah? The dirty water has to be seen so that you can clean it out of the tub. If not, you can't. And then you walk around with it. So let's not add guilt because we're imperfect within the spirit. You know, like, it's not about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about truth. It's about authenticity and stepping up. That's what it's about. And so to close out this entire story, I realized that what a lie it is to believe that me being blessed will not bless others, that me receiving more will not give others more, right? If we are in our true state of authenticity, if we are following our hearts, if we are living in purpose, if we are on this walk with love, with God, then how could it not bless? How could it not extend into everything? So the big lesson here is that your talents, your everything that you have to offer, and the wealth, the spiritual wealth, the reflections of financial wealth, of material wealth, or whatever it is, in whatever form it needs to look like. And it doesn't mean mansions and yachts, right? Like, let's take that, like, wealth. Look, just notice when I say wealth, what you think of, right? When I say rich, what do you think of? What comes to your mind? This is showing you the patterns, the programming that we have in our mind. You guys, did you see that? Like that? That's a dove. It's a mourning dove, but she's trying to fly over the car and she couldn't because there's almost like a fence railing right here. She flew around and you got to see her. And I just made her into a her because, you know, that's what I feel. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. And so Notice what those ideas mean to you in your mind. And that is an invitation to healing, to look at, to why we think that. Because the truth is that wealth is something so much greater. To be truly rich, what does it mean to be truly rich? To have what we need when we need it. And to let the Spirit guide all of it. We are not responsible. We do our part. We follow the nudges. We follow the fire. We follow the spark. We accept the healing. We move through the emotions. We watch the mind. All the things, all in an efforts to accept the truth about who we are right now. Moment to moment. Who am I? Let me remember who I am. And who I am is abundant, is wealthy, is rich. And our abundance and our wealth and our success, notice what you think about when I say success, that is ours to live, to accept, to receive in whatever form it is meant to receive us in our story. And that, when coming from a place of truth, of love, of authenticity, will bless exponentially the world, will bless the mind of all, will be an example, a permission slip for others to believe again, to know again, to heal, and to meet them, their true selves, in God, in love. This is the work. And now I feel a lightness and a gratitude for having this space, for showing up even just to myself, for passing the fear of exposing like this. But I knew how powerful this belief was, how deep it is. And I know I'm not the only one. And so I say it again. We walk together. We're in this together. We are healing together. We are evolving. We are actually coming. The truth in us never evolves, yeah? It's already what we are. But we are accessing, we are unlearning, unbecoming so that we can truly access and be and become that which we already are. A journey of no distance, friends. That's what the Course in Miracles says. This is a journey of no distance. We feel it's outside of us, but we're just coming back to the heart, to us, to, as I say that. This was a longer video than normal, but it's so worth it, and I have to make it, and I'm going to put it out. Please let me know in the comments if anything came up for you, what resonated with you, and yes, if you made it all the way until the end, put it in the comments, affirm, my wealth, and know what you mean by that. My wealth heals the world. My wealth heals the world. Love you all. Until next time.